Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill has a committee substitute and a floor amendment. Ask the clerk to report House Committee Substitute number 1.
Clerk, please report.
House Committee Substitute 1 to House Bill 154.
Gentleman from Carter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill, as amended by House Committee Substitute, is in response to a decision from the Kentucky Supreme Court on DUI cases. The Kentucky Supreme Court, in my judgment, misapplied the decision from the Birchfield case. And in effect, what it has done in cases of drug driving, it prevents the government, the Commonwealth, the prosecution from tendering evidence that there was a refusal of a blood test. So what this bill will do, it will allow, which is in accordance with our Fourth Amendment jurisprudence, to allow, upon probable cause and approval of the court, to allow a search warrant for blood. Currently, the law requires death or physical injury. The second thing that this bill will do will allow for the more discretion at the trial court for impounding the license plate, and will give the trial court more discretion. And lastly, there's an issue with the records keeping of an intoxilizer that needs some cleanup, and that this committee substitute will address this. I think it's very important to note that currently 34 states do allow the testing of blood upon a search warrant, as this bill would allow, so it would put us in conformity with over 2/3 of our sister states. At this time, a DUI is the only crime in our Commonwealth that a search warrant, that there are exceptions for the search warrant listed under state law. I move for adoption of the House Committee Substitute.
Motion is for the adoption of House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. House Committee Substitute 1 is adopted. Gentleman from Carter.
Mr. Speaker, I ask the clerk to report House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 154.
Clerk, please report.
House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 154.
Gentleman from Carter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This floor amendment makes one minor change on the records keeping of the intoxilizer. It clarifies that there would be no fee, again, no fee for any records request on those documents. I move adoption of Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 154.
Motion is for the adoption of House Floor Amendment 1. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. House Floor Amendment 1 is adopted. Gentleman from Carter.
Mr. Speaker, I will entertain any questions, and if there are none, I move passage of House Bill 154 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1 and House Floor Amendment 1.